Hello, everyone. Welcome to our monthly webinar of the month, our webinar of the month. And so today we are joined by Joyce Johnson. How are you, Joyce?
I'm great. I'm great. Hey, just excited to be here with you and your design team. You know, I love design. I love you people. I don't have that talent, and I'm so in awe of what you do and hope that I can be able to say something today to help you move your business along revenue wise.
Appreciate that. Everybody has a little creative nature in them. When we talk about designing your home or reimagining what the home looks like or a space, everybody has interest on how they want their space to look. So I like to say everybody has a little creative side.
Well, if you show it to me, I can tell you what I like.
Good deal, good deal. So we are happy to have you here today. A lot of people in our community have been asking about sales because as we enter into the new year and we head towards the end of 2021, heading into 2022, you know, a lot of people are beginning to prepare their marketing plans for the new year, and sales are a big part of that. And so I thought it would be apropos to have you on to talk about sales because you are an 8-time author and you know sales inside and out. So I thought, what better person to have on this webinar than you?
Thank you, Jason. I certainly appreciate that. And, you know, with that said, I'll go ahead and get started because what I like to work on teaching entrepreneurs and our small business owners is that when you're having that marketing strategy, you need a sales strategy, right? We create our business plans, and I'm going to make this as conversational as possible. If you guys want to ping something in the chat box and ask a question or what have you, please do so. But, you know, what I noticed that a lot of companies, you know, we start our business, even myself at Y Sales Network, we start our business because we're passionate about something. We have something that we love, that we want to do, that we want to get out to the masses. And we do all this planning, but we never put together our sales plan. So we build it and it's beautiful, especially if you're designers, you build beautiful spaces. And I was sharing with Jason, I've had people come to my house and bid on business and things for me, but never asked me for the business. So we want to talk about a lot today about how to ask for the business and really the entire sales process. Because if you're not afraid of sales, you know, or you're not afraid of sales once you understand the true sales process. And that's what I try to teach people, Jason, and then give them some really strong tips as they go along the way. So about me just a little bit, because you guys are probably like, who is this lady? Why is she here? What is she talking about? Right. So I like to kind of just give myself a little credibility around myself, about the profession and what I do. But as Jason mentioned, I'm an 8-time author, just released a new book. Well, actually, it's releasing soon here. Color Outside the Lines, Extraordinary Stories of Leadership, talking to other authors, and it's a co-author program, and everyone sort of shared their story on leadership. But most of my books is on sales and the sales process, helping college students, athletes, professionals become better sales individuals. Speaker, sales champion, founder of Y Sales Network. I've worked in sales for over 20 years. I have sold on behalf of some of the largest companies in the world to some of the largest companies in the world. I reside in Houston, Texas, which is, I grew up 45 miles south of Houston in Galveston, Texas, a little island. So people say, you from the islands? Yes, I am. I am from Galveston, Texas. and then I went to college at Purdue University, which is 45 miles north of Houston. Just a little personal note about myself. We may ask you guys that later. But, you know, I've worked in 10 different vertical markets within my corporate career. I've deregulated 2 markets, and I've found 3 businesses. So I have taken everything that I've learned in those spaces and created a sales training program titled How to Win in Sales. And when I thought about how to win in sales and putting it all together, I thought about what are some questions we ask ourselves as entrepreneurs. And if we haven't asked ourselves that we need to ask ourselves, right? One is, what are we really selling? Mm-hmm. What are we really selling? Because we may be selling a product, right? I just ordered a security product, some type of pen for my nieces and myself because they're on college campuses. And I move around a lot at night downtown Houston. And so they're not really just selling that product. They're selling security. They're selling safety. They're selling peace of mind. They're selling peace of mind to myself for me and my personal safety, but also for me and my niece and my goddaughter who are on college campuses. Who is it for? Are we clear about what our audience is and who are those people we're identifying, right? We should be asking ourselves, why should they buy from us?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about our followers, right? I'm not talking about our parents and our relatives and our really good friends who's going to buy one or two, everything we put out no matter what. I'm talking about identifying that fan base and those people are going to be our fan. What is going to make them buy from us? And then, why are we the authority on it? Did we test it? Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, and I know sales. So why should they buy from me if I'm trying to sell some pancake mix? Because I do cook 100 pancakes every Christmas morning. My family has a Christmas breakfast, and I'm in charge of pancakes. So I was about to say 100 at least. At least 100 pancakes, at least. So I was about to say I can't sell pancakes, but I maybe can sell some pancakes. I'm going to have to use something else as an example.
Now, do you put anything in? And then I know I'm deviating a little bit.
No.
Do you put anything in the pancakes, or is it just a
whole lot of love?
Okay.
Just a lot of love. You ever try to stir, those that much pancake mix and things?
Yes.
And, it's a
I don't ever do 100, but I do know about the stirring, but not 100. That's a lot.
Yeah, I do about 100 pancakes every Christmas morning for my family. So, and then we have to ask ourselves, what is the value that we bring to the table? And once we ask ourselves all of those questions, then let's talk about the sales process and what we're going to go, how we're going to go sell it. So I've outlined some key steps to the sales process for you guys. So you don't have to go figure it out. Here they are: prospecting, pitching, appointment setting, proposing, closing, and yes, customer experience. A lot of times we leave off that customer experience. And Jason, as you heard, I said customer experience. I didn't say customer service.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say how we're going to serve. The experience that the customer have with us is really all encompass all things within that sales process. And the customers have to have a great experience.
And just a plug for next month's webinar, we're going to have an expert on that just talks about how to wow your customer experience. So that actually leads directly into what we're going to talk about next month. So
how to wow your customer. One of my favorite books, Jason, that I recommend to my college babies, upon graduating is Raving Fans. And it's all about how to wow your customers and make your customer become a fan. So in preparation for next month, you guys may want to pick that up.
Yep. That's excellent.
So let's talk about step one, prospecting. And when you're prospecting, I talked before about identifying your target audience. Who is your target audience? You don't want to just start prospecting all over the place and just going handing out flyers on cars, well, unless you're inviting people to, a dance hall, right? But when you talk about your design business and things, and, if you're catering to a certain market, you don't want to be in a place where people can't afford your product, right? Especially if you have a high-end product, right? You got to really know who that target audience is so you can understand how are you going to reach that target audience and how are you going to communicate with them. So I talk a lot also about doing research. One of my friends, Larry Brooks, has a book, on entrepreneurship, and it's all about research. You have to spend the time doing the research. If we don't spend the time doing the research on the front end, then we may still get it wrong if we do research, but the possibilities of getting it wrong are definitely lower than those possibilities if we do our research and we do our homework so that we can really understand our target audience. Again, now I'm not talking about our friends and family who's going to buy from us all the time, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about those people, like me, doing since the storm, I've been trying to get my bathroom done. And everyone's just been so busy. You sent me a lead here recently, and I got to talk to that young man. But, and so I just finally just gave up on it, right? But no one was really marketing to, I didn't get anything, and I didn't get a mailer, I didn't get a phone call or anything on that. We'll talk about that later, but really doing our research and our homework so we can understand who our target audience is. And then identifying that key pain or purpose of why those people want to work with you. Now, for a lot of you guys, I mean, when you think about storms and things of that nature, yeah, it's painful, right? It's painful, and people have an immediate need. People are going to make a decision. So it's a little bit easier than if you're coming and selling someone like me that just bought a new home. They're really happy with it, but once they got into it, they just decided that the shower doesn't work for them, right? So that's a whole different audience. So you really need to understand that, okay, you have this target audience that's gonna be a little bit easier because they have a need, and a painful need, right? And then I have a painful need also, but not as much pain. It's more just about being a tall person and having long arms and want to stretch out in the shower. But when we're prospecting, we really need to understand those three things. Our target audience, we need to get our research and our homework done and understand why they're ready to buy, so that when we're communicating with them, we can mention that during that process. And we're going to go from prospecting to the pitch. I was up last night watching Astros. That's why I didn't know the weather was going to be bad today, right? But we're starting with that pitch. We have to be able to pitch them. We have to be able to build that rapport, right? Everyone wants to rush through everything. I've had a gentleman come to my house to fix my AC. And he just rushed through, rushed upstairs, rushed down, didn't ask me many questions, what have you. He left, it still wasn't done, right? And when it still didn't work and I need to call someone else, instead of calling him back, I just hired another guy, right? Because he didn't really take time to build a rapport with me and to find out what was going on. My good friend and mentor, Darren Palmer, says all the time, the difference between contact and contract is the art, relationship. And I cannot tell you how important it is to build relationships in sales. I can't tell you enough, I should say, how important it is to build relationships in sales from beginning to the end. So right when you're doing that pitch, build a little rapport. Understand who you're talking to, have done your homework, stalk them a little bit on LinkedIn like I do. Then you want to build a little credibility, right? You want to say something like what I said about myself, that I've been selling over 20 years in the Houston market. I've sold to the largest oil and gas companies in the world. I've sold on behalf of the largest companies to the largest companies. You want to build that credibility. And it's really hard for us as small business owners. I've been used to being a part of really big brands, the largest brands in the world. But sometimes when we're entrepreneurs and small business owners, our brand isn't that big, right? So we really have to tell people who we are. So Y Sales Network is an amazing company and brand that I've built. But right now, I have the larger brand sometimes. Sometimes people know Joyce Johnson before they know my business. And you guys have to realize too, that sometimes people may know of you or one of your friends or one of your relatives or someone who referred you before they know of your business. So we also have to be able to build our personal credibility while we're building our business credibility. And then, the pitch is the first part of the sales process where you begin closing. At that point, you're asking for the appointment. So you're going to call Jason. Hey, Jason, how are you doing? Oh, you're in Houston. Yes, is the weather horrible? I just saw on the news. Oh, yes, this has been happening. And I got caught in the rain taking my kids to school. Oh, my gosh, Jason, that has to be horrible. Did you make it on time? Yes. Well, hey, Jason, just wanted to follow up with you. I'm Joyce Johnson from Y Sales Network. I built this brand for sales professionals and entrepreneurs to teach people how to build revenue in their business. The credibility. Love to come out and talk to you about some of the pains that you're having within your organization and how I can help you increase your revenue and your business value in the next 6 months.
I like that.
Would you please share 2 dates or times that work best for you that we can connect? Or take out your calendar. Do you have your calendar in front of you? Can we match up our calendars right now and get a time that we can talk? So the pitch is the first part of the sales process that you want to get to, right? And it's the first time that you really do what we talk about now is setting an appointment. And then once you're setting that appointment, you want to reconfirm why they're talking to you. Oh, yes, Jason. Well, thank you again. I understand you've been having these pain points, and I'm going to come out and I'll be prepared to talk about this with you. And you said that you're available next week, Tuesday at 2 p.m. Did you want to meet in person or virtual works better for you? reconfirming their availability, right? And he's going to reconfirm, oh, wow, you know what, Joyce? I really, if we're going to meet in person, I'm going to need 30 minutes travel time. So let's make that 2:30. So now we're reconfirming Jason's availability, and we're going from 2 o'clock to 2:30. And again, we're going to reclose that appointment by saying, all right, I'll see you next Thursday, 2:30 at Houston's on Kirby and 59 in Houston, right? Great. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you next week. That's the second time we're closing. We asked for the appointment, then we came back and we reclosed the appointment. Now we're going to go into that meeting. When we go into that meeting with Jason or with myself, let's talk about myself. We come into the meeting, someone's going to come into my home. We're going to talk about that bathroom project I have, Jason. They're going to come into my home. We're going to go upstairs. They're probably going to ask me, are you sure you want to rip out your tub in your master bath? I'm like, yes, I do. Then you're going to ask me, well, why? Because I need to be able to stretch out my arms. I have long arms and I want to be able to stretch out. I want just to have a full shower. I want to sit down. I want to have the extra, can I put a steam room in the shower? All those things. And then you're going to say, do you think that's a great idea? Because, do you have another tub in your house? Yes, sir, I do. I have 2 other tubs in my house I can use. Because, you think about that, because if you propose someone to take the tub out of their home and they don't have a backup tub, that may in the future be an objection that you have to overcome, right? Which is another part of the sales process. We deep dive in when I do my master class, Jason, but you want to find those things out. So you want to ask me why at least 3 times, right? Why do I want to change out the bathroom? Why do I want to take out the tub? Why do I vision that being a good solution for myself? And then now that you confirmed all of my needs and things, and what you're doing those questions, you're preparing to propose me. And I think sometimes that is a big gap in this industry with, I hire people to decorate. This is my 4th home I've purchased. I've lived in different places, in different cities. I lived in San Francisco Bay Area. I've lived in Houston. I've lived in Miami. And I'm always wanting, so that just means to say I've moved a lot, you guys. I've had a lot of homes and a lot of projects. So I need you people, I need you. But what I find out is a lot of times this proposing piece is just skipped altogether, right? Even that piece I just talked about, asking me the questions, a lot of times people just come in my home and look at what I have and do, and they never ask me questions about myself or why I actually want to do that project. But I really think if you guys hone into that, I think if you take the time to do that, then you get there. I mean, I have had, interior designers that come in and they ask me about my style and my taste and things like that. But my, my construction people, my plumbing people, right now I want to get some work done on my stairs. No one's asked me any details. And no one has given me a proposal. No one's reconfirmed my needs. No one's addressed any objections that I may have once they give me a proposal. And no one's reconfirmed why I would want to buy from them over someone else. So here's some things I want you guys to do in your business. When you go to the homes and you're talking or you're assessing a job, I want you to spend a little bit more time. And I know sometimes you got appointments back to back, but if you need to push those appointments out another 15 minutes, another 20 minutes, I tell you, it's the difference of you winning that bid, and it's the difference of you getting a referral to go get another bid. And referrals are the gift that keeps on giving. Right, Jason? You're shaking your head. Yes. Referrals are the gift that
yeah, we still get referrals from clients we had 6 years ago. So yes, that's so
right. I mean, and when I love someone, people will tell you that I am a referral magnet. I will send people so many referrals and talk about them so many times. My publisher, Darren Palmer, people hear me talk about him all the time because he's done so much to impact my life and he's always so supportive. And so he's like, Joyce, you're always sending. He's like, people call us from everywhere. I'm like, oh, do you know Joyce Johnson? I don't even, know. So, but if you spend that extra time to take some time out, I assure you guys that it will help you expand the revenue in your business and it'll help you expand your referral base. And I can say that I'm not you because of my experience in the industry, right? So no one's taken time to really propose me. Now, what they have done is given me a quote and some pricing, but a proposal is different, right? A proposal is different. Even if it's for my air conditioning, even if, when I brought the guy in for my AC, I was having to pivot and go from an in-person conference to a virtual conference, Jason. So I purchased all this equipment. So this banner you see behind me, this is live. This isn't like a Zoom thing. This is live. It's 8 feet by 8 feet.
Okay.
And it's sitting here in my office. So we recreated another green screen upstairs in my home. I had my staff with me. I had my director of operations, my social media person, my interns, my photographer, my videographer, the moderator for the event. I had all of those people in my home, and the AC was not keeping us cool that day.
Wow.
And the guy came in. I don't recall him really getting their names, getting their names or saying hello, or really even trying to understand why it was so important for us. And at the end of the day, it was just that the battery was dead in a thermostat. All of the other stuff that was happening, didn't happen. But all that to say, there was leads right there in the house, but he didn't take time to really shake hands with anyone or get to know anyone. Yeah. Right? And then the fact that we were still hot and had to run out to Home Depot and get help either. So really get to know your customer again, build that rapport, reconfirm what the customer really needed and their immediate need versus their long-term need. Because had I known what the second AC guy told me was that he could get a cooler for me to be able to help me cool the house, and he could take, and I was willing to pay anything to make this happen.
Right.
So because he really understood that immediately, he's like, why are all these people in your house? He's like, why are all these people in your house? What are you doing? What do you have going on? I'm like, well, tomorrow we're practicing because tomorrow we have this going on. And he extended the whole a la carte of services that I was more than happy to pay for because I needed that.
And if he hadn't opened his mouth, he wouldn't have never known, and he wouldn't have upsold those other services. So
he would not have upsold those other services, right? Then my director of operations, who also owns a home in Houston, guess what? She got his card. Mm-hmm. Right? She got his card. So now you have her and her network of people, because she has 3 sisters that are homeowners. She has about 6 or 7 aunts. They're a huge family. Everyone's homeowners, but all because he went that extra mile to build that rapport and to really understand what my need was as his customer. And that's what happens. That's how you begin to propose. And then when he came to me to propose me, he said, Miss Joyce, here are some options I have for you. I can't pinpoint this right now. I don't know why it's not cooling. You have coolant. He said, yes, it is hotter than it normally is. It was about 104 in Houston. It was some of those heat days in the middle of June. But here's some options I have. The way that your house is and that your door, your balcony door is and things, we can open that up. You can put a fan here that'll blow this other direction to really circulate and cool the air. And we can get a cooler for you. Hopefully I can figure out the problem before tomorrow. But if not, here's another way we can keep everyone cool. Would you be open to some alternate solutions? Awesome. What did I say? Absolutely.
Yes. Yes. Where do I sign?
What do you need? Will somebody bring me my credit card? Not now, but right now. So, right. And so by taking that extra time to really find out what was going on in my home and things, he was able to really propose me some business, right? It was on the spot proposal, but he went to his car, he wrote some things out, he thought about it, he thought about some solutions that would best fit me, and he came back and he gave me some options because people like options. And he told me how he can solve my problem. Then he reconfirmed with me that I wanted to solve it right away and what solution I decided we would move on. So he closed me.
Adding on to that, I can almost guarantee if you was to look at the testimonials from the HVAC man number 1 versus the HVAC man number 2, I can almost guarantee HVAC man. Number two had a lot more recent testimonials that were positive just because of the human
Absolutely.
interaction. Yep.
Absolutely. And you know what? And the first guy was where he was referred to me by a friend. She's like, oh, call this guy. And I called him immediately. So it was his business to lose and he lost it.
Mm-hmm.
He got that one fee for coming out, but he didn't get what the other guy got because he didn't build that rapport, right? He didn't try to really understand my need and try, he didn't give me a proposal. He didn't propose any options for me. And he didn't close me. And if I could say anything, like I said, I love working with people in this industry and you're creative. And because I need you, because I can't do it myself, I just don't think with that part of my brain, ask me to put together a strategy for you, a sales strategy, your business plan or whatever. I'm your girl, but not for, designing. But rarely do people ask for my business. Rarely do people ask for my business. And I have, like I said, I have many years of leadership in a corporate space as a sales leader. And one thing I would tell people when they referred individuals, they said, well, Joyce, why didn't you hire them? I said, they didn't ask for the job. They didn't close me. And I say, if they didn't close me, they're not going to close the customer. It's not a risk I'm willing to take. Because a lot of times, and I share with my college students all the time, get up, show up, and follow up.
I like that.
And ask for the business, right? So a lot of times it's not that simple, but it is. And you have to be able to close. When I coach people on job interviews, I tell them, do not walk away from the job without saying, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, based on the conversation we've had, how do you see me fitting within your organization?
Mm-hmm.
Am I a candidate that you would like to hire?
Whenever I had an interview, I would ask as many questions as the interviewer. And they would be amazed that I would have a list of questions. Why should I want to work here? And so they'll be taken aback, like, really? And so that would just, just asking those questions to show that I actually knew the industry, and I would show how I did research on them, what their specialization was, everything. And so they were just blown away.
Right. Because it's a two-way conversation. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Any transaction, that's what sales is, right? Sales is a transaction between two individuals, companies, or what have you, in a trade for service and currency. And so whether that's getting a job, when you're getting a job, you want to know that you're going to be somewhere long-term. You want to know what their culture is and how that works. And that's the same thing people want to know about our businesses. They want to know about our business culture. They want to know our approach. They want to know who we are at our core. And when we send our employees out there, they want to know that our employees are empowered to make decisions to provide a great customer experience. Wow. I can't say enough about that customer experience. And the customer experience is from the beginning to the end. The beginning to the end, that customer experience. I've gone in places before and when they say, oh, well, I'm sorry, I can't make any changes. And I say, you know what, I understand. I understand. And I apologize that your organization has not empowered you to provide a great customer experience. And then I send the organization a note on that. But you got to close me, right? You got to ask for the business. After the guy gave me the proposal and everything, he really didn't ask me for the business. He didn't. But I had a need. And I asked him, I said, well, do you want my business? Give me some solutions. And he was shocked. He was kind of taken back. I said, and I tell people all the time, I'm sorry, I'm in sales. You're going to have to close me. Mm-hmm. If you want my business, you have to ask for it. Mm-hmm. Right? And he chuckled.
But that just small thing that you told him, I'm sure he's actually used that from here on out. And so
I'm sure.
And it's going to help him. Yeah, from here on out, yes.
It's really going to help him because you know what? A lot of times we don't get the business because we don't ask for it. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you from me as your customers to the designers on the call and in your network, Jason, for me, it's like, okay, so that person not really like my style or like what I wanted to do or like my home, it's just a job they don't want, right? So I'm just, because I know sometimes people have different jobs that they like to work on a lot, and then they have jobs they don't like to work on. So for me, if you don't ask for my business, I don't know that my project or my business is something that you want to take on for your business.
Mhm.
right? And so I asked him, I said, do you have the time to support my business? Do you have the time to do the things that you are proposing to me that I should do? I said, because this is a proposal. You've given me a couple options. Is this something you can implement for me? Do you have the time to service me, and do you want to?
Mhm.
Now, what should have happened is he should have said to me, here are some options. I know this is an urgency for you because you just said that you're going virtual on a conference here tomorrow. I'm really busy this afternoon, but I could come back tonight and finish this job for you so that you guys can be cool and have circulation tomorrow. But I had to ask him those things just because I had a need
Right.
and I needed to get it done. But I did appreciate the fact that he really thought about how to give me a solution, even if it wasn't an immediate fix, because he knew it was COVID and we couldn't go out anywhere else. And so we had to be able to execute this in my home. So, you have to close, you have to ask for the business. And if for some reason when you ask for that business, if something pops up that you weren't prepared for, they have an objection to you or something, right? Then overcome that like he had to do with me, which I was giving him. I wanted it right away. And he assured me, Miss Joyce, I promise you I'll be back, but I have some other commitments for today. And this is going to take a little bit longer. This is how long it'll take to do these things. And I need to also go and purchase the equipment for you on your behalf and to be able to get this done. He said, if you're willing to work with me, I can come back this evening and get it done. So I went with him because he was the one that took the time to give me a proposal and really understand and find a solution for me. Although he didn't ask me for the business, I asked him if he had the capacity to take on the business. So you really have to be able to communicate these things to your customers. That yes, it's a job, it's a great job. You love to be able to do it. You love to be able to come into their home and to fix this for them or to design this for them or, whatever the need is. When you can do the job, you want to make sure that you overcome all the objections that they could possibly come up with. I can take on this job within the next week. I could have manpower out here in 2 days, right? Will that work for you, Mr. and Mrs. Customer? Are you ready to move forward? Yes, yes, yes. How would you like to pay? I require a deposit of this. And do not talk about, how you require your deposits and things, while you're in that midst of pre-qualify. Do it when you're pre-qualifying. You want to tell them kind of like you want to find out what their budget is and what the cost is and things like that. But you want to make sure that you follow a process, right? And you stick things in where they belong. Get them closed. Once you get them closed by asking for the business, then you recap what the process is and what the cost is and how the payments and things will take place. But Jason, I think more than anything, in this industry, from my experience, and from what I hear from my friends and my family, we had a hurricane in Galveston. We had to rebuild all of my family homes from the inside out. And we dealt with a lot of different contractors, a lot of people. And, we have seniors in our family. I'm the firstborn grandchild, and my mom's oldest. And so I had to deal with a lot of different contractors and different people. And I tell you, there wasn't a lot of proposing. There wasn't a lot of asking for the business. And there were a lot of people that I didn't give business to that maybe would have done a great job. And, and when you create a customer experience from beginning to end, and you build a relationship from beginning to end, you're more likely to close that business because you've built a relationship. And if I can give any partners in that whole customer experience, once you close the opportunity, a couple of things I want you to do is make sure you have the right point of contact, because although I paid for it, it was my project, my home, or what have you, I had to then send him to my director of operations to communicate with and to get the job done. Sometimes the person who's the buyer and who's paying for things isn't going to be the best point of contact, right? When I was redoing my mom's home and we were doing things, I travel. It's just no way that I could be there. So there could be a different point of contact. Then you want to recommunicate the timelines and the deliverables with the new point of contact if that point of contact changes. So that way there's no gap in communication between you and the new person who's your point of contact, right? And from there, schedule a follow-up appointment, again, just to go through everything and confirm the date that, yes, Ms. Joyce, I've gotten all this done. I have my team ready. We're finishing up another job. Yes, we're on track to be at your home on Thursday. So I don't know if anyone put any questions out there or had any comments, Jason. We can do that at this time.
Yes, there was one that was asked about, they asked about the software. Is it vital that you have some type of software to set the appointment in terms of like a Calendly or anything like that? Is there, first of all, is that necessary? And then is there a certain type that you would recommend?
You know, it depends on what you're doing. I don't really think it's 100% necessary. I tell you, I do use Calendly, but what I prefer doing is taking my telephone out real time because I live and die by my calendar and having that person take their calendar out. And
Yep.
you guys would be surprised. People are really great at, call of actions. When you tell a person, hey, why don't you grab your phone, I'll grab mine, or grab your calendar and let's go ahead and set a time. But I also do use Calendly for people too who want to do partnerships with me or set up podcasts and things like that. I have several different Calendly links for several different things. But I think in our business, when we're and again, that's for consulting things. When someone is wanting to hire us, I think it's us. We have to own getting that appointment done.
And then even that, you can use Google Calendars, which is free. And
which is what I do.
And you can do an alert on Google Calendars where it can do a reminder like an hour before or 5 minutes before.
Day before.
So, yeah, the day before, all of that. Yes. So you don't have to use one of the paid options. You can use, like I said, Google Calendars, which is free. So yeah.
Google Calendar is amazing, and I mean, for things like this, for this webinar, I have to remind myself the day before because I want to make sure I have my game face on, right? And then I want another reminder a couple of hours before, so that way I can stop whatever distractions is taking place in my life so that I can become ultra focused on what I'm doing.
Yeah, a few more questions in here. What advice do you have for new entrepreneurs or business owners?
To really own your sales plan, understand what your sales plan is going to be. How are you going to be able to sell? A lot of people focus on marketing and social media. I have a great social media team and do great marketing. But as we rolled out our sales training programs that I'm going to show you guys in a few minutes, it's really important that we have a sales plan. Mm-hmm. How are we going to go out and sell? Who are we going to sell to? Until that marketing pays off and until that social media pay off and those referrals, we got to hit the ground running. And every day, schedule time in your calendar to sell. Mm-hmm. Every day. And it's very difficult because as entrepreneurs and business owners, we're juggling and we have so many things going on. But first thing this morning, I do some projects in the Bahamas, some consulting, and they're on East Coast time. So I know I can start calling them at 7 a.m. And some of them even earlier. People in New York, I can call even earlier, right? That I do business with in New York. So I start calling those people earlier before my day gets so cloudy with things. Or I make sure that I block out some time, at least 1 hour, where I'm following up on sales and I'm opening up new sales opportunities. So stay focused on the sales, write down your sales strategy, write down, a block of time of when you want to do that. And make sure that you try to stick to that as often as possible because no one's going to sell your business better than you do.
Yes. And you had talked about social media. One of the things that I have to talk to a lot of my clients about when they do their own social media, I say, watch how much time they spend on that because it's not about the vanity metrics. It's not about how many people are liking, sharing. It's how many are you connecting with that you can then take to the next level and do business with them. Did they buy?
And yeah, and so for my social, it's for, when I do something, it's for awareness and every once in a while it's so that someone can see, some progress has been made. I think I popped a picture of me and my godson on there last night. It's just because I just wanted to say I love my godson.
Right.
But for me, I don't focus on that piece of it, right? I pay people to do that because that is a really and it takes time to build that, right? It takes time to build that, and it's a skill set that you have to know. So I am a proponent, I tell you, as entrepreneurs and small business owners, of really focusing on my core and outsourcing everything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 100% agree with that. 100%.
And that's what the big companies do. I've worked for big business. Okay. I'll tell you, I learned that through my years at AT&T as a young sales leader. I was sales director in global markets. And if I learned, the best thing I ever learned from that job was to focus on my core business and outsource everything else to my internal team members.
There's another question we have here now. You could plug your own in here if you want to. So they said, sales books, what would you recommend? Now, I know you have 8, so you could plug one of your own, but if there's any others, feel free.
Yeah, so I do have my own for college students and for, why sales for athletes, why sales for college students. I have the top 10 sales tips for college grads, and that's really understanding how to go into corporate. So with entrepreneurs, I do, right now I've been following more entrepreneurs than reading books, right? To really understand what they're doing real time versus the books in history. But I do love John Maxwell. And and he has a series of books from, selling and Rainmaker and different things. I do love John Maxwell. I recommend you look him up. And, but go on to Audible. I'll say that as entrepreneurs, and so, we don't have a lot of time. I love to curl up with a good book, but I'm telling you right now, my eyes are really tired at night. Mm-hmm. And so I recommend too going to Audible and typing in sales and seeing some of the great sales books that are on Audible and listening to some.
One I would recommend that I just read is called Never Split the Difference by Christopher Voss. And he used to be a FBI negotiator. And so he teaches about the psychology of how to negotiate and why getting the word no is not a bad thing. You want to get no out the way first. And so so you can ease into, that negotiation or that proposal that you're having with the other person. So that's a good one that I had just read about. That was about a month ago. So that's a good one.
I like that. I like that. I like that title. Don't split the difference. And, in negotiating, I want to share something to you guys too, as entrepreneurs and small business owners. Take the no. Mm-hmm. Take the no and go, right? Take the no. Be willing to take the no. So, because there's so many yeses out there, and then, and also find out why they said no.
Right.
If you can find out why they said no, that helps us tremendously, because it helps us know if it was just a budget. It helps us know. And then if it was the budget, maybe they just weren't our ideal customer, right? We're going to try not to take that personally. It's not our ideal customer. Maybe it was something that we did in the sales process or didn't do in the sales process, but find out why they said no so that you can provide strength for yourself by injecting that in your next proposal or meeting. But take that no and move on to the next one.
I like that. So if anyone wanted to get in contact with you, Joyce, how would they do so?
Well, I have some slides here. I'm going to share some information with them on how they can get in contact with me and how that they can also benefit from my master classes that we put together. So I have the How to Win in Sales online courses that I put together. And so you can go to my website, ysalesnetwork.com, to get those. Or you can also go directly to the Learn World platform, where it's online courses.ysalesnetwork.com. But for entrepreneurs and business owners, we have a course that we offer that's going to take you from A to Z in sales and the sales process, and helping you understand the sales process to make you stronger in closing. And the sooner you understand the sales process, the stronger closer you're going to become, the more revenue you're going to earn for your business. The more revenue you earn for your business, the more valuable your business is. It's, that in itself is a process. And so part of the masterclass is that you get an opportunity to spend a day and a half with me. And after you do all the online courses, you come in and talk to me, and we're going to sit down and go over the sales process. Again, we're going to recap it. We're going to talk about sales acumen. We're going to talk about how you can build a sales strategy for your business. You'll come in and say what your sales strategy is, and I'll help you kind of tweak it and define it some. If you're ready to hire a salesperson, because maybe you find that that's not your strength, and or maybe your company just grown there, I'm going to talk to you about how to do that, how to create a commissions plan, right? And the importance of funnel management. I was asked a question about the calendar, but how are you managing your funnel? How are you managing your leads that you have? What type of tools are you using that then? Because I recommend that you automate that as well. So we have the masterclass for entrepreneurs and business owners. And Jason, also, we are doing a cohort, a test run of this program for the first time next Friday, November 5th. And I am offering it at no cost to 4 business owners to come in and participate in the training.
Okay.
So that we can build a cohort or group of sort, and I can kind of get feedback from them on what else they need from me in this program and how I can further help them move their business along. So if you have someone within your organization that may be interested, you guys get in touch with Jason, let me know. It will be in Houston, Texas, and I do require that you participate for the full day. And then also I'm going to allow them to come back at least one time next year and take a refresher of the course.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
So that's our masterclass for entrepreneurs. We also have one for sales professionals, for those people that do have those small sales teams, that they can come in and bring their sales professionals. But the Y Sales Network Sales Training Lab actually have 8 courses, including the 6 you see on the screen: prospecting, pitching, appointment setting, proposing, closing, and customer experience, along with the master classes. We take a practical approach to it, and I also like the hands-on. That's why we have the day and a half, because I think that we have a lot of things online, but what we got to learn to do in this day and time, and I think COVID taught us that, is to walk away from everything, all of the noise, and become ultra focused on what's important in our business. And I'm going to tell you, if sales isn't the most important thing in your business, if your supply chain is superb, but you don't have any sales, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
If your front end is superb, but you don't have any sales, it doesn't matter. So take that time to really understand sales, to understand the sales process and how you can go and sell your business. So our master classes that we have right now, we have 2 of them coming up in December and January. The pricing for the masterclass is $24.99. We also have the refresher courses if someone thinks that they're strong in sales, but they need a course on, pitching or closing or what have you. Those are available for $197 each. And we're also offering an additional discount to your viewers, Jason, where they can put in WSN B2B 2021, and that is all caps, for a promo code to get additional 15% off. So for additional 15% off, they can use WSN B2B 2021 and receive additional discount on those courses. But if they go ahead and get registered right now for the master class, like I said, we're going to hold one in December, we're going to hold one in January, and they'll be able to really come in, spend that day and a half with me after taking, I think it's about 12 hours of online classes. So when I talk to you guys about audio and things like that, you don't have to look at my face, but you can hear my voice and go through it and be able to learn that. And then come in and I can help you with your sales strategy, help you understand what you need to take your business to the next level when it comes to revenue, building that revenue and building that value for your business. So again, if you have a great supply chain, but you don't have a great sales plan, that's what's that old saying? 100% of zero is zero.
Yep.
100% of zero is zero.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they can reach me. They can find me on Facebook at I am Joyce Johnson. We also have Y Sales Network on Facebook. LinkedIn, Joyce Johnson. Please connect to me on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn all the time, and not as much lately. I will more than I would like to. But we have our shows, our webinars, and different things that we do on LinkedIn. Instagram at I am Joyce Johnson, as well as Y Sales Network also. And thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Visit our website at Y Sales Network. Look at our training programs. Take advantage of the additional 15% off right now. And as I said, Jason, if you have someone in your organization you think could benefit from being a part of the cohort that we're going to have next Friday here in Houston, reach out to me, let me know, and we'll get them an invitation.
Awesome. I will do that. We appreciate your time, Joyce. And like I said, next month, we're going to be talking about how to wow your client experience. So we hope to see you all here next month, and you all have a great rest of your day.